Okay, so first of all, we want to do a sum if. Now, all I did was give you some data. Actually, I could have taken out the birth dates and that because I'm not going to use it. In fact, maybe we should because I don't need that. You know what? Highlight column C and D, right-click and delete. And then I can put my view up a little bit larger and it'll make it easier for you. And go Control S to save. Okay, let's go to G3. Okay, let's go to G3. And I want to start you off small, okay? And I want to put in here sum if. So put in equals sum if. And open your parentheses, okay? Now, take a look. It says what range, and now they don't put in the word evaluate, but that word should be there. The range to evaluate. What is your criteria and what is your sum range? Now, you know a sum range has to be numbers, right? So could you put text in there? No. Okay, so I want to find out, find all the people from the location of, let's say, San Francisco, okay? I want to find all the people from San Francisco and how much is in the money column, in the amount column. All right, so the range that I want to evaluate is the location. So I want you to highlight from D3 down to D35. That's my evaluation range, okay? Now, comma, what is the criteria? I said the criteria was San Francisco. So you can choose any cell in there as long as it's San Francisco. So go click in the cell for San Francisco. It doesn't matter which one you click in as long as you choose a San Francisco. Pardon me? No, you don't have to absolute it because we're not dragging it down. Okay? Now, comma, it says what is your sum range? And remember I said to you, sum range has to be a value, right? Okay, so what do we want to sum? We only have one column that you can add, right? And that is E3 down to E35. All right, close your parentheses and press enter. And did you get $10,690? Mm-hmm. We did, right? Let's put a format on that just so we've got to use. So right click there for me, go to Format Cells, and choose accounting with a dollar sign, okay? 2 decimal places and a dollar sign, and say okay. All right. Now, click in cell F3 for me. Hold down your Shift key and click in cell F6. And I want to cut this data for a minute. Go Control X to cut it. And I want to put it down in about cell F14. Go to F14 for me and paste it. Okay, go to F14 and paste it. Everybody did that? Okay, now go back to F3 and type in there sum if. Okay, type in sum if. All right, now this time I want to do one more with you, okay? So I want you to type in the word sum if and just press enter to accept it there. And now go to G4 for me. Go to G4. Is everyone in G4? Mm-hmm. All right, put in equals sum if. Open your parentheses. All right, this time I want you to find all the people that are presidents. Find all the people that are presidents and see how much money is involved. So what range will you have to evaluate?
Position.
The position. So you're going to go from C3 down to C35. That's the range you want to evaluate, right? Comma. And it says, what's your criteria? So what did I say your criteria was?
C15.
President, right? So click in a cell that has president. It doesn't matter which one as long as it has president in there. Did you do that? All right, comma. And now what is the sum range? You only have one, and that is E3 down to E35, your sum range. Close your parentheses and press enter. Okay, and then go to G3, click on your paintbrush, and paint the other one to match. And did you have $1,950? You did, right? Okay, now go to F6 for me. Go to F6. And I want you to put in count if. I want you to put in count if. All right? And now go to G6. Go to G6 for me. Okay, count if is a little bit different. Go to equals for me and put in count if and open your parentheses. Now what does it say? It says range and criteria, because do you sum if you're counting? No, you count 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's no sum range. It just says what range do you want to evaluate and what is the criteria. Okay, so let's say that we want to evaluate the location. All right, so let's highlight from D3 down to D35. That's the range you want to evaluate, right? Comma. And now let's go back and choose a San Francisco. Click in a San Francisco. And did you click in a San Francisco? And press enter. How many entries did you get?
15.
There were 15 people from San Francisco. So just imagine if this was a list of 3,000 people, how fast you counted how many they were. Okay, it's just a straight count. So that's easy. All right, let's do one more. So go to F7, put in count if. And now go to G7. And this time, let's count how many were presidents. Okay, how many were presidents? So put in equals, count if, open your parentheses. And your range, what do we evaluate? The position. So from C3 down to C35. Right? Okay, comma. And the criteria is what? President. All right, close your parentheses and press enter. And did you get 3? So there were 3. So that's pretty easy. You can't go wrong. Okay? Now, the next one, like those are easy. There's only ever one criteria. When it's sum if or count if, it's only one criteria. That's it. Now we're going to do sum ifs. Okay? So what I want you to do is go to G14 for me. And I think I should put in the word to label it for you. Put in sum ifs. Okay? And press enter. And then we'll do another sum ifs. And press enter. And then put in count ifs. And press enter. And put in count ifs. All right, so on this one, let's go to H14. Okay, let's go to H14. Is everybody in H14? All right, put in equals, sum, ifs, and open your parentheses. Now, what comes first on this one? When you did a sum if, remember, the sum range came at the end, right? But when it's sum ifs, the sum range comes first. And you read it. It says, what range do you want to sum? All right, we only have one range, but we want to sum the amount, right? Okay, so select from E3 down to E35. That's your sum range. Now, why did they do that? Because you're allowed 7 criteria. And they said, okay, you'll put all the criteria at the end. All right, so you've got the sum range first. And now, note what it says. Criteria range 1. Okay, so I want all the people from marketing. All right, so go and select what? Position. So C3 down to C35, right? That's my criteria range 1, comma. What's my criteria 1? Marketing. So click in a marketing cell, as long as marketing is selected. Did you do that? Okay, put your comma in. And now it says, what is criteria range 2? Calumet Falls, right? So I have to evaluate location, D3 to D35, comma. And what's the criteria? Calumet Falls. And now we could continue, as I said, criteria 4, 5, 6, and so on, but we want to stop there. Okay, so close your parentheses and press enter. And did you get 1410? Okay, I'm just going to get my paintbrush here and put my $sign on. Okay, so if you look at marketing and Calumet Falls, and you see you got 700 and 710, right? And so what did you get? 1410. So it summed the people that were from marketing and Calumet Falls. Does everybody see that? Okay, let's try it again. Go to H15. And this time we want finance and Calumet Falls. All right? So put in equals sum ifs. Open your parentheses. And what's your sum range? What are you going to select? E3 down to E35, right? Your sum range. Comma. What is criteria range 1? Position. So that's got to be C3 to C35, right? Comma. And what's the criteria for that? Finance. So click in a finance cell, whichever one you want. Comma. And criteria range 2 is the location, right? So highlight D3 down to D35, comma, and your criteria is Calumet Falls. All right, close your parentheses and press enter. And what did you get? 630. So if you go to finance and Calumet Falls, you only had one person, and that was 630. Does that make sense to you? Okay, let's try the count ifs now. Okay, now remember count ifs, again, more than one criteria, but there'll be no adding. So put in equals count ifs and open your parentheses. Count ifs. Okay, note there's no sum range, right? You just have criteria 1 and the criteria 2 and the criteria. So our criteria is marketing. So you want to select C3 to C35, right? Comma. And what's your criteria? Marketing. So choose marketing. Any cell that has marketing in it. Comma. And now it says, what's criteria range 2? San Francisco. So highlight your location, D3 down to D35, right? Comma. And the criteria is San Francisco. So pick out a San Francisco. Close your parentheses and press enter. And did you get 5? You did, right? Okay, let's try it one more time. So go to H17 and put in equals, count ifs. Open your parentheses. And I need to find the finance. So I've got to go to my position, C3 to C35, comma, and my criteria is finance. So go to finance, comma. My criteria range 2 is San Francisco. All right, and comma. And my criteria 2 is San Francisco. So choose San Francisco. Close your parentheses, press enter. Ah, I got 5 and 5. Did you get 5 and 5? Just the way it worked out. Okay, I want to do another one with you. I want to do a sum ifs, okay? So I want you to go to F20. Go to F20 for me, and just type in sum ifs, okay? And then go to G20 and put in equals sum ifs and open your parentheses. Okay, I want to find all the marketing that have amounts that are more than $710. I want to sum all the amounts that for marketing that are more than $710.
So that'd be greater than.
Okay, so we got to say sum ifs, but first of all it says the sum range. Read your formula, so select the sum range. So select E3 down to E35. That's my sum range, right? Comma. And I said marketing, right, as my criteria. Okay, so we want to select C3 to C35, comma, and I want it to be marketing. So click on marketing. All right, comma. Now, my criteria range number 2 is going to be my amounts, right? So I want to select E3 to E35, comma, and my criteria is more than, did I say more than equal to?
More than.
More than. Okay, so But I have to use more than. More than is a character. We have to use quotation marks. So go quote, more than. And the only reason is because more than is a character. More than 710. Quotation marks. That's my criteria. All right? Close your parentheses and press enter. And did you get 3,700?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, so check it. I said marketing, and I said more than 710, right? So I had to add 720, 730, and 740, 750, 760. Now watch, remember the trick I showed you? If I want to check it out, I'm going to highlight marketing down to 760. And what does it say on the bottom? It says the sum is 3,700. Look on your taskbar there, and it tells me my sum is 3,700. The count is 5. The average is 740. So you said, yeah, I did the formula right, Lee. Okay? Formula F2 is the sum ifs, and you had to have your sum range, and then we picked out marketing as the criteria, and then we said in the amount column our criteria was more than 710, but because we used more than, we had to use the quotes. Okay? So you will get some of those on your test for sure. Okay, that's good. That's all I need to show you there. So I'm going to stop this one.